Hmm. Just get re-uploaded.
Something in the way she moves attracts me like
At TW_Guesty says, hello, hello.
Yep.
something in the way she woos me. I don't want to leave her now. You know I believe in how.
At the one and only Mango Lord says, yo.
Somewhere in a smile
At the life of Dante 1 says, you.
Yeah, how's it going?
that I don't need no other lover.
Dude, my act is like way worse.
I don't want to leave her now.
We're gonna come back on. What is that? What is that?
Let's go. Program is classified M. It is recommended for viewers 15 years and over. We recommend the use of the parental lock system. I gotta make an announcement. Shower heads up, bitch ass motherfucker.
Isn't this going for a rank? Dude, what is this song? Why is this sample of like so many things? Be like, should probably play the qualified maps. What is this? Is this 13 stars?
Are you ready?
Okay. I'm not ready for that yet. And it's kind of boring. Fit beat. Oh boy.
At G-Aim Purple says, yo.
Yep. Alright, I want to try and get a better score on this.
At the one and only Mango Lord says, are you going to be playing random songs today, or will you be grinding?
I wonder.
Let's go.
Okay.
Let's go.
Oh my gosh. Should I just warm up for linear? Just try grind linear maps. Dude, this is a pretty good like linear practice map. Gotta calibrate.
There's very few of y'all I trust, even less y'all I love. About my head's only one. That facade that y'all put up, you might fall down. It's just not us. That facade just isn't you, and moreover it's a crutch. So ask yourself, what do you really do it for? Do you feel it in your core? Do you really feel it? Humble myself for the Lord. Could it end up like you? But my mama raised me better. Father said that less is more. What escalates happen at genetics. It's only right, the only person to come about it. You either do it or you sit there and just talk about it. I'm getting wheels every time I leave Uncle Kenny. 126 down on 26, it shows my age. I can't draw stick, I'm getting so deep. You can see I just had to shout out my 140 down on 40. It's like 8 hours to the coast. If someone asks if I do music, chances is I'm saying no.
At Go Sub Alcheming says, yo.
Yep.
Are you surprised to be famous now?
At Gear Crusher 15 says, dude. At Go Sub Alcheming says, face orange biting nails.
Anybody don't like the way I do? Shit, fuck 'em.
At JoanMO7DN says, can you
Comment.
play Jumper?
Jumper. Okay. I am not ready for this map.
At Mitch Renfer says, you're not getting a 98 LOL.
Okay, and
At the one and only Mango Lord says, can we ban this guy? At Paradox_Beatsaber says, hiding.
W tracking.
At Mitch Renfer says, do you prefer tech or speed?
Let's play anything.
At Mitch Renfer says, or are you purely ACC carried? At Paradox_Beatsaber says, very W tracking. At Wooferrite says, yo.
Yep. Do. Okay. I kind of want to play this map, but it's so overweight. It's like I'm just gonna get nerfed. It's just gonna get nerfed to the ground anyway. So like, what's the point? So frustrating.
At Mitch Renfer says, BSR 52,647. At Paradox_Beatsaber says, are you playing on Index RN because I've seen you in Index and Quest 2 or Rift S, I don't remember.
I'm on Quest 3.
At Mitch Renfer says, if you beat this I'll sub. At Paradox_Beatsaber says,
Yeah, I can beat this
on
map.
beat leader asterisk.
Put me on beat leader. Oh man, my axe stinks. Let me try this one.
At R1FTTTT_RL says, do you have a job? Or is this your job? At Paradox_Beatsaber says, on Beat Leader I thought
I'd
I
like to
saw
not
you
answer that
play on
question.
Quest 2 because it says what headset you play on your scores.
I don't play on Quest 2. I probably played on a Quest 2 like once, and I hated it.
At Random Good Theodore says, do you take requests?
Maybe.
At Mitch Renfer says, what's better for Speed Quest 2 or 3?
I don't know. People are good on both. But if you're starting new, I would go for the Quest 3. If you're starting new, you go for Quest 3, and if you're like
At Matthew Bill
already
2
experienced in the
says,
headset,
Saber name?
then just play on that
At
headset.
Random Good Theodore says, I think 3.
These are resabers.
At Yeslia Gonzalez 8492 says, bro, I did a backflip, broke my wall, fall into the back rooms, and Captain Clark was chasing me, then all of a sudden I teleport back to my room.
I think that's called a dream. I think you don't pass out,
At
buddy.
the one and only Mango Lord
You done
says,
died.
okay. At Mitch Renfer says, LOL. At Yeslia Gonzalez 8492 says, it was not a dream. My wall was broken.
The only thing that was broken was your brain.
At Go Subalcheming says, alright buddy. At Yeslia Gonzalez 8492 says, thank you. At Mitch Renfer says,
Thank you.
holy
Thank-
ECC or insane.
Think.
At EKK_man says, what's your job?
What's a job?
At
Dude,
Paradox
this map is low-key
underscore
pretty fun.
Beatsaber says, I don't know what is a job. At the one and only Mango Lord says, imagine doing the thank you thing but in Japanese. At Mitch Renfer says, BSR 52647. At Yeslia Gonzalez 8492 says, no, we were supposed to have a good day. Loudly crying face, loudly crying face, loudly crying face, loudly crying face, loudly
Dude,
crying
why
face,
are you-
loudly crying face,
why
loudly
are you-
crying
why-
face, loudly
oh my
crying
gosh.
face, loudly
Shut
crying
up.
face, loudly crying face, At Random Good Theodore says, can you do Imogen Dragons? At EKK_man says,
Okay, I got you.
Mini 8. At the one and only Mango Lord says, Arigato gozaimasu. Arigato gozaimasu.
Dude, why are you so
Arigato
obsessed with
gozaimasu.
Japanese? Are you like a weeb or something? Bro thinks
At Mitch Renfer
everything in
says,
Japan is
Can
like
you do BSR
is like way better.
52647? At the scribble says, good morning not USA cause I live in Canada and today is going to be like the same as yesterday Heartsued. At the one and only Mango Lord says, I just like the language. At Random Good Theodore says, Tuh.
Yo, poodles.
At Mitch Renfer says, do you not take BSR requests?
We do things the old-fashioned way here.
At the one and only Mango Lord says, it's so different from English that it scratches a certain itch for learning.
Dude, why is... Oh.
At Mitch
That
Renfer
makes sense,
says,
never mind.
okay, if I give the name, will you play it?
I was like, why is there radioactive waste pouring in the water? And then I realized what song I'm playing. I'm really smart, guys.
At Fiber Endo says, I'm gonna send gift. At the one and only Mango Lord says, did you know that the Japanese language is naturally rhythmic? At Fiber Endo says, W.
W. Whoa. Oh no, the radioactive goop is turning white.
At Mitch Renfer says, no one cares.
That's a very interesting color.
At the Scribble says, the black hole saber's heart suit. At Random Good Theodore says, I do. At Fiber Endo says, TS Fire Live. At Mitch Renfer says, insane ACC on those poodles. At Paradox_Beatsaver says, very interesting color, loudly crying face. At Plaster says, what's this?
The Beat Saber.
At Fiber Endo says, LOL.
Radioactive. Oops.
At Random Good Theodore says, radioactive. At Fiber Endo says, 100. At Placider says, hell yeah,
100.
I love poodles.
Straight from inside.
At Placider says, NGL the Beat Leader Poodle event was ALR.
I could definitely improve this.
At Placider says, what's that one song that was a cover of Viva La Vida?
Fallen Kingdom?
At Paradox_Beatsaber says, I gotta go, but I may be here next time you stream.
Alright, see ya.
Bye. At Placider says, my kingdom come. At the one and only Mango
Okay.
Lord says, bye. At Mitch Renfer says, are you good at complex streams and high BPM jumps?
I don't know.
At Placider says, oh, I am way off.
This is my kingdom come. This is my kingdom come.
I'm waking up to ash and dust. I wipe my brow and I sweat my rust. I'm breathing in the chemicals. I'm breaking in, shaping up, then checking out on the prison bus. This is
At Placider says, MR Peanut dies to Bald Kingham. Do you know Bald? At the one and only Mango Lord says, does Imagine Dragons still make music?
Maybe.
At Mitch Renfer says, the world would be better without Imagine Dragons. At Placitor says, they imaged dragons too hard and started to plot. At the one and only Mango Lord says, wow.
Oh man, I'm messing up.
At Placitor says, cool sabers, are they custom made for like did you made them?
They're resabers. Dude, I'm losing so much act.
At Mitch Renfer says, the best song on earth is Post-Mortem Flashes from the Ashes. Look it up, trust not one person can have it.
Dude, 94.99. Are you kidding me? What the heck?
At Placitor says, is that what they're called? I thought resabers were for like customization for sabers.
Resabers is a
At the
custom
one
saber.
and only Mango Lord says, there's always someone that will hate something.
What is this?
At Mitch Renfer says, look it up and tell me if you hate it, Mango Lord. At Mitch Renfer says, play Montajum one more game. At Placitor says, to be hated or to be not to be.
Oh, this is fun.
At the one and only Mango Lord says, Shakespeare. At Placitor says, Shakespeare but. At Mitch Renfer says, fire song and mapping. At Placitor says, I'm more of a DR guest type of guy. At the one and only Mango Lord says, Vortex cuts the blocks. Yesterday, he caught them. At Mitch Renfer says, dang, I'm playing this later. At Placitor says, isn't this the song from the Rocket League event? Wow, I really need to play this game more.
What Rocket League
At
event?
Fork Dag says, what is the song that we're playing?
This is a... I don't know if it's a remix or a remake.
At Placitor says, didn't Beat Leader do a Rockstar event? At Placitor says,
Rockstar.
Rocket League I meant.
Yeah, they did an event. I don't remember if Disconnected was there. I need to improve that score. No, I don't want online. Do I even still have the playlist? I probably don't.
At Mitch Renfer says, play montage him one more game.
I don't have the playlist. Where did it go?
At Placenter says, beat leader does an event, not specifying a specific event. At Mitch Renfer says, please.
What? Nah.
At Fork Dag says, how to
Oh wait,
make
no,
the
you
blocks
just
just disappear instead of flying Arion.
Disconnect is part of Rocket League.
At the one and only Mango Lord says, yes.
I'm pretty sure it's part of the original pack too, no?
At Mitch Renfer says, can you play montage him one more game? At Random Good Theodore says, try
Oh,
a
it's
sped up
not.
song. At Placenter says,
Oh wait, I'm really
aren't
smart.
they flying around?
Sorry.
Isn't that how the game works?
Never mind. It's not in here. They just added Disconnected for.
At Placenter says, we gonna light it up. At Placenter says, interesting. At Asmavan Kedadra 1511 says, Ing me at Zumaya Mohammed L3X Sami Ya loudly crying face.
Okay. What?
At Placenter says, since when did YouTube add like these gift stuff, are they even worth anything?
They're worth like 2 cents. Literally just throwing money into the void. This sounds fun.
At Mitch Renfer says, can you play montage him one more game at Zickable mid-speed?
Yeah, wait.
At EKK_man says, gone. At Placenter says, that is literally like, slave money the heck, I miss Prime YouTube. At the one and only Mango Lord says. At Mitch Renfer says, oi. At Blaster says, I saw a reel on Instagram saying they are upping the monetization. At EKK_man says, good boy Vortex.
Me when I watch Instagram reels to find out about YouTube news. Very interesting.
At the one and only Mango Lord says, what?
Dude, what is 3-layer dip stack? What does that even mean?
At Placenter says, alright bro, I just watch whatever.
I know a guy who watches Instagram reels all day. He did not turn out well.
At Placenter says,
he did not
better than
turn out
going
well.
to live leak.
He turned into a freakazoid and a racist.
At EKK_man says, good boy, good boy, good boy, good boy, good boy, good boy, good boy.
Alright, we're
At
gonna.
Plaster says, how
need to
do
calm
you
down.
not know ball? 3-layer dip stack is peak. At the one and only Mango Lord says, what?
When I had the world wrapped in satin, before you tossed it. When I had your heart in my
At Placenter says, if he turned into a freaky and a racist, why is he still alive low? At the one and only Mango Lord says, the most racist thing I frequently encounter is sculling. At Placenter says,
I wonder who I'm talking
people
about.
like that should know better.
I wonder who I could possibly be talking about. Is he online? He might be watching stream. They're just slandering his face. Oopsies. Yo, my bad. It's true though.
At Placenter says, who is Scully? At the one and only Mango Lord says, face orange biting nails.
He's a very interesting fellow.
At the one and only Mango Lord says, I mean, I see very little racism.
Okay.
At the one and only Mango Lord says, all my recommendations are either my interests or wholesome things. At Mitch Renfer says, my recommended is Gooner Bait, smiley face.
Of course it is.
At Placenter says, dude what?
I wouldn't even recognize time has been so cruel. I couldn't blame me, but I blame you. I do.
At Bertamo FR says, hey. At the one and only Mango Lord says, it only recommends what you watch. At Striker_9259 says, I'm going to a theme park today ya dick.
Five.
At Galaxy Official says, hello. At Placenter says, I fucking hate this chat, I prefer Disney XD.
Dude, the last time I watched cable was so far away. I don't even remember what was on Disney XD.
At the one and only Mango Lord says, okay.
There were definitely things on it.
At Mitch Renfer says, face reveal when.
2 years ago.
At Placenter says, I can watch Markiplier instead of hearing chat say goon session. At Galaxy Official says, vowed to chug a bottle of water.
Okay.
At the one and only Mango Lord says, bro, one guy said one thing. At Mitch Renfer says, what's wrong with tuning? At Placitor says, last broadcast I saw was
What just
September 11, 2001. And that day
That's
was
crazy.
something. At the one and only Mango Lord says, nobody has brought it up except for you. At Striker_9259 says, raw. At the one
Dude,
and only
that was a
Mango
crazy
Lord
day.
says, okay,
You
Mitch.
know what happened? It was like 3 days after Slat's birthday.
At Striker_9259 says, crazy chat.
It was his late birthday. The crazy event.
At Placitor
He
says,
threw a party and
I'm
it was,
so
it was
old,
the
bro,
bomb.
like I'm trying to keep up with like this Gen Z thing. At Placitor says, haul up, let me say something hip. At the one and only Mango Lord says, I don't want to be associated with Gen Z. At Striker_9259 says, face orange biting nails. At Placitor says, this stream is such a skibadai sigma diddy party. Guys, am I hip now? I have no idea what I just said. At JoanMO7DN says, can you play da 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 da? At Galaxy Official says, face blue smiling. At Striker_9259 says, wow.
Like, bro wants me to play da da da. What year is it? 2019?
At Placitor says, yo, there is gambling in here?
Crazy.
At Striker_9259 says, yes sir. At Mitch Renfer says, play Montajum one more game, it's very 2026. At Placitor says, finally, us old people can having something fun to do. At Nick S7Y2N says, what mods are you using?
A lot.
At Placitor says, I am a spend all of my daughter's college fund, let me show y'all. At Galaxy Official says, I'm a certified chutz. At Tay Sawyer says, yo, are you actually gonna answer your fans, bro? At Placitor says,
What do you mean?
what does Heist do?
I am answering. Now you know who I don't answer to? Air conditioners. You know how rigged air conditioners are in the cooling space? Like
At the
they're
one and only Mango Lord says, it's basically the same as gambling.
you go up against an air conditioner
Wait a minute, I can't say I'm a
and you're
chud.
dead. I don't know what I'm saying. Dude, what was that?
At Striker_9259 says, MM.
What's the difference between this map and another map?
At Placitor says, why are you standing in front of air conditioner? Are sweating like balls or something? At Nick S7Y2N says, I found a way to get mods on standalone. At the one and only Mango Lord says, he sweats cubes. At the one and only Mango Lord says, blocks more specifically. At Galaxy Official says, I'm eating dry cereal RN. At Plaster says, if you sweat cubes, I'm standing fat away from you, sweat bombs I shall say. At Mitch Renfer says, he doesn't have balls, he has triangles. At G-Aim Purple says, note blocks more specifically. At Striker_9259 says, yes, Vortex actually lives in Beat Saber. At the one and only Mango Lord says,
This is like saying your teacher lives in this school. Insane.
At Galaxy Official says, Lucky Charms. At Mitch Renfer says, I live in your mom. At the one and only Mango Lord says, in. At Striker_9259 says, whoa. At Plaster says, I live in a dark alley in a van, just waiting for something to happen. At the one and only Mango Lord says, Lucky Charms are fire. At Galaxy Official says, yep. At
Lucky Charms are like the diabetes form of cereal.
Get top 30 to 10. At Plaster says, only underweight math. At Mitch Renfer says, smiley face.
Do 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 do.
At the one and only Mango Lord says,
Yeah, the beat right now.
At Plaster says,
Okay, we need to play more
just
linear.
say we're not happy to eat anything, bro. At
I don't think I have a 600 on
Striker_9259
this method.
says, actually
like a row
sugar
600.
isn't what causes diabetes. At Plaster says, you probably eat like Raisin Bran or some. At the one and only Mango Lord says, I like how two Japanese characters are literally just smiley faces. At Mitch Renfer says, whoa.
In my mind, I could see them so clear, see them so bright.
At Plaster says, I've heard this song in a different stream. The end is so bad.
Hmm. I'm gonna lose all my act.
Access token needs refresh.
Okay.
At Galaxy Official says, fish. At Devon Pyatt's TK72 says, hot.
Hello.
At the one and only Mango Lord says, access token needs refresh fire musical note. At Plaster says, let my listeners hear such a peak melody then ear rape them at the end with bags. At Plaster says, Definition of this song.
Dude, I love so much act.
At Galaxy official says, oh crap, this milk is expired.
Ah, dang it.
At Placenter says,
Time to get
like,
sentenced to the
why
toilet
is
for
this
like
end
2
part
hours.
so scary?
I need a linear practice map. Let's do some LARP maps.
Please don't stop the music.
At the one and only Mango Lord says, I like my milk how I like my peanut butter. Crunchy. At the one and only Mango Lord says, Creeper Amen. At Blaster says, Fire. At Mitch Renfer says, I liked it when you played hard songs.
Oh my gosh. Mama,
At the one and only Mango Lord says, interesting.
Alright, we'll give this one last shot. We'll see if I can get like a 98 something.
There's very few of y'all I trust, even less y'all I love. About my head's only one. That facade that y'all put up, you might fall down. It's just not us. That facade just isn't you, and moreover it's a crush. So ask yourself, what do you really do it for? Do you feel it in your core? Do you really feel it? Humble myself for the Lord. Could've ended up like you, but my mama raised me better. Father said that less is more. What escalates after that genetics? It's only right, the only person to come about it. You either do it or you sit there and just talk about it. I'm getting weird every time I leave Uncle Kenny. 126 down out to 6, it shows my age. I can't draw stick, I'm getting so deep you can see.
At Placider says, how much points you got up in that barrel mango?
If someone asks if I do music, chances is I'm saying no. Because I'm scared they might judge. They take one look at the cover, probably think I'm Sammy, or that my daddy paid it, or that I'm later famous. Funny part is I bought the house and car without touching my savings. What escalates after that genetics? It's only right, the only person to come about it. You either do it or you sit there and just talk about it. I'm getting
surprised to be famous now?
Dude, look at that hand difference. This is so annoying. Hey, right hand is so much worse.
Anyway, so what I give a shit? Anybody don't like the way I do? Shit, fuck 'em.
Wow. Do 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 do.
At Placeter says, Shorty's type hand difference. At Mitch Renfer says, seeing you ACC this jumps though I believe you can beat Montage in one more game.
Do you hear this out right? Let's try some more yaks. Down. Baby, are you down, 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 down?
At Placeter says, ALR so streamlined just nuked me.
Wow.
At Placeter says, don't gamble, if you know what's good for you. At Placeter says, oh mango. At Placeter says, God damn it. At Mitch Renfer says, LOLOLOL.
Okay.
At Placeter says, this guy just set me up for failure.
Baby, are you down, 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 down? I should try and figure out how to 98 this map.
At Mitch Renfer says, play post-mortem. At Freaky Vampy says, well, I'm stopping play Beat Saber.
Why? Put it back in butter. From side to side, side to side.
At Freaky Vampy says, because I think I playing so good but I found your stream.
Okay.
At Placeter says, maybe you will get better if you correct your grammar. At the one and only Mango Lord says, this ramen I made is going to be fire. It's also going to feel like fire when coming out, face orange biting nails. At Mitch Renfer says, I can barely ACC 600 BPM.
No way, that's crazy.
At Lassiter says, bro get AHH burn while whipping? What are you talking about? At Mitch Renfer says, yeah my wrists kinda hurt too. At the one and only Mango Lord says, really spicy.
Dude, how did I act up so much here?
At the one and only Mango Lord says, I gonna be sentenced to 2 hours on the toilet. At Joanne Mo7DN says, remember you play jumper.
Maybe.
At Mitch Renfer says, can you play post-mortem? At Plaster says, nice OBS overlay.
What? Okay.
At Plaster says, very professional streamer over here chat. At Mitch Renfer says, yeah he's got the balls. At Plaster says, how long have you been on YouTube?
I don't know, like 6 years. Oh man.
At Plaster says, 6 years my ass, you've been like streaming for more than 10 years.
What?
At Plaster says, no way it's been 6.
Oh yeah, I need to play this.
At XRAIM Games says, are you taking song request?
Maybe. Ugh.
At Mitch Renfer says, can you marry Sinison? At XRAIM Games says, the hell does maybe mean? At Plaster says, god damn it Mitch. At Mitch Renfer says, what? At Mitch Renfer says, I mean I would if I could. At the one and only Mango Lord says, I wouldn't. At Mitch Renfer says, PRVLY good with his hands.
Okay.
At the one and only Mango Lord says, okay buddy. At Placenter says, chat some like that again, I swear I may lose my flipping marbles.
You know, forget it. We're going all out. I don't care. I don't care if we get
At the
good
one
score
and only Mango
or
Lord
bad score.
says,
We're playing this match.
face orange biting nails.
Okay.
At Placenter says, is this accelerate?
Maybe.
At Placenter says, score saber accelerate but it's not shit.
Thank you, tracking. We love to see it.
At Mitch Renfer says, I'll accelerate if I'm too slow for you, smiley face. At Placenter says, why did Beat Leader exist? Will people notice if it was gone forever?
I don't know.
At Placenter says, God fucking damn it Mitch. At the one and only Mango Lord says, why are my messages getting held for review? At Mitch Renfer says, he doesn't want me to stop. At the one and only Mango Lord says, I'm saying normal stuff. At Mitch Renfer says, me too, smiley face.
Boom. Could definitely improve that. Yeah, I'm getting
At XRA
destroyed
Games
next batch.
Can you SR20 dead Bible case me if? At Rev3X
Get
says,
absolutely destroyed.
calamitous demise. At Placenter says, why are you a mango, why can't you be a edible food? At Mitch Renfer says, can you play post-mortem? At Placenter says, like a hamburger. At the
Dude,
one
your
and only
messages aren't
Mango Lord
even getting
says,
held for review.
what's
They're
wrong
just
with
gone.
mangoes?
They're just
Sad
not
face.
getting. They're not getting processed at all. You're just geeking out.
At Mitch Renfer says,
Can I 630
play
this match?
post-mortem.
I could definitely get a better score on this. But stinky tracking actually cooperated.
At the one and only Mango Lord says, bruh. At Lost Broadcast YT says, How to get Beat Saber free. Sith mod.
How to get to Beat Saber free? What type of question is that? This is me.
At Mitch Renfer
Me
says,
like
it is stinky.
me like a long time ago searching for free Robux. How to get Clash of Clans free gems hack.
At the one and only Mango Lord says, is my YTD? At XR Aim Games says, can you play SR20 DDT by Blacksmith please? But remove spaces. At the one and only Mango
Oh my
Lord
gosh.
says, how to lose weight, no exercise, only junk food. At Lost.Broadcast YT says, I hate Google Translate. At Blaster says, I remember I downloaded a website on getting GTA 5 for free on my mom's laptop. I think that's why her laptop is so damn slow.
Come on.
At the one and only Mango Lord says, virus maxing.
Dude, what am I even bad cutting on? Bad cutting on nothing.
Added You Tell Me 16 says, is the noise on a hit a 115?
Yeah. Do 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 do. I think I'm getting crazy mind blocked with this map again. And yeah, no, we're not playing this. My tracking can't even keep up. What is the point? I remember when this was worth. I mean, so it's kind of worth, but.
At Placider says, buy a valve.
Nah.
At Placider says, actually, buy a beat. At Nick Renfer says, bro, do you take requests? I've given so many in your chats, can you do this one? At Lost.Broadcast YT says, how did you change your saber? At
Mods.
Placider says, those remotes are peak. Added You Tell Me 16 says, you should do raise the black flag next.
Dude, this is a really good act.
At Plaster says, you should end stream next. At the one and only Mango Lord
Got
says,
you.
this ramen has the
just
underside
kidding.
of my tongue burning. At Plaster says, ramen is gross. At Mitch Renfer says, can you play Orchids my hubby Sinison beat it? Added you tell me 16 says, how dare you Plaster? At Plaster says, I'm about to clank the Streamlabs guy, I love you Streamlabs.
Dude, how did I lose so much AC? Oh my gosh.
At the one and only Mango Lord says, bro. At XR Aim Games says, can you do SR20
Yo.
DPT please?
Give me 1 second. I need to gain rank.
At Placenter says, god damn it Streamlabs, no love for you stupid clanker. At Shorties 1570 says, hashtag gaming. Added Q tell me 16 says, can you FC Ghost first try? At the one and
No.
only Mango Lord says, I
That
need
map
a
is too hard.
halftime break for this ramen. At XR Aim Games says, okay. At the one and only Mango Lord says, hi Shorties. At Shorties 1570 says, oh I came at the right time. At Plaster
Oh, you guys
says,
are dead.
me at
You
the call
guys-
center saying give me a second.
You
I
guys
need
better
a
be on your best behavior.
At Go Subalcheming says, loudly crying face, loudly crying face. At Shorties 1570 says, I'm ready to slime out this chat. At Placenter says, isn't best behavior a rank song?
I don't think so.
At the one and only Mango Lord says, chat, if you step out of line, Shorties will exterminate you. At Placenter says, I've heard it before I just don't know where. At the one and only Mango Lord says,
This
I would
act is
make an
horrendous.
analogy, but I will probably get slimed. At Placenter says, if you need to rank up just play bottom row shit, like ever top player. Added Q tell me 16 says, that mapping is bad.
I mean, the mapping is very good. What are you talking about?
At Shorties 1570 says, bottom row.
Caution, 30 seconds of oxygen remaining.
At Joanne Mo7DN says, can you play attack? Added Q tell me 16 says, from up to sideways constantly with no resets? What is that? 2028. At the one
It's
and
called a
only
gimmick.
Mango Lord says, Mitch,
It's
if
what
you're
gives
still
the map
here,
personality.
you should say something freaky like you were doing earlier. At Plaster says, swear every top player can only rank up his linear shit and bottom row shit. Fix your rank system score saber.
Dude, I can rank up on tech. Score Saber's fine. There's no problems. I can 600 the mama.
At Shorties 1570 says, Plaster you're probably a low rank saying that BTW. At Shorties 1570 says, you have zero room to talk. At the one and only Mango Lord says, face orange biting nails. At Lost.Broadcast YT says, can you share the settings?
What settings?
At Placider says, I don't play modded, I'm a free ice cream vanilla.
Oh man.
At Shorties 1570 says, you shouldn't have an opinion on ranked N.
What's happening, forum?
At Placider says, son, I can say WTV I can. At Lost.Broadcast YT
I don't know about that
says,
one.
Beat Saber settings. At If You Tell Me 16 says, that ACC is insane. I'd be lucky to get higher than 95% on a slower song.
99 on Edcore win.
At Jacob Dreer 5354 says, bro I keep asking but when tourney WTH? At the one and only Mango Lord says,
We
I
are
just
still
inhaled some of my
unqualified.
spicy ramen saliva.
It's
I'm
going
dying.
to start next week.
At Shorties 1570 says, but you're extremely wrong. You don't understand the work us top players put in to get the ACC we do even if it's linear or bottom row.
What's happening, forum?
At Placider says, oh I've seen everything, and I love it. At Jacob Dreer 5354 says, okay thank you Qual's been going for like 5 years LOL.
Bro's like the most impatient person ever. Do you not understand that people need to be able to play qualifiers? Like qualifiers are what give teams like the most fair shot. Like they give us a whole week so we can actually
At the
play
one
the
and only
qualifiers.
Mango
If we have
Lord
like a
says,
job or something.
Shorties, don't
You
you
probably
have
never
school?
heard of what a job
Added
is.
Q Tell Me 16 says, what's the
Like
highest star
people
rank
won't be
song
able to
you've
play
ever done?
qualifiers just one day.
At Placider says, qualifies for what? At
Oh
Shorties
my gosh.
1570 says, I have school Monday Thursday. At the one and only Mango Lord says, what? At Jacob Dreer 5354 says, okay geez chill. At the one and only Mango Lord says, all year? At Placider says, I dropped out of school and worked on the concrete. At If You Tell Me 16 says, you don't have school on Fridays Shorties?
He doesn't have school Friday because he's a goat.
At Placider says, 9 to 5 every week.
Can't believe I set the score on index. Actually, I don't think the score is on index still. I think it's still on. I think it's on +2 or 3.
At Shorties 1570 says, nah I don't. At the one and only Mango Lord says, bro, school is sometimes like actually worse than a 9 to 5. Sometimes I get there at 7 AM and leave at 11 PM. At If You Tell Me 16 says, how many hours would you estimate you have total between modded and vanilla? At Shorties1570 says, lies. At Asmabankedadra1511 says,
What?
I've been arrested for 5 years loudly crying face 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 loudly crying face
All
loudly crying face
right.
loudly crying face loudly
All right.
At the one and only Mango Lord says, Shorties, there are moderator commands for TDS. At Shorties1570 says, oh. At the one and only Mango Lord says, like, skip and catch up. At Shorties1570 says, okay I didn't know that time Mango.
Next to me, I still feel your touch in my dream. Forgive me my weakness, but I don't know why. Without
At the one and only Mango Lord says, you're welcome.
'cause every time we touch, I get this feeling, and every time we kiss, I swear
At Shorties1570 says, 700 on score saber soon trust.
Real. Do you see my score on WDN?
At Shorties1570 says, no what was it?
It's 640 on expert.
At Jacob Greer 5354 says, do you play any sports? At It You Tell Me 16 says, you should play Raise the Black Flag next, trust me.
I lose all my app.
At Shorties1570 says, that's like huge whoa. At the one and only Mango Lord says, I was wondering why Shorties was the only mod, then I remembered that the other mods are in school right now. At Shorties1570
Wow.
says, I've been on my ACC arc recently.
Crazy.
At Sconer66YT says, you should play Bewitching later or after. At the one and only Mango Lord says, imagine getting an education. Me in a week.
Get this feeling, and every time I kiss, goodbye. Dude, it's actually getting kind of sad. Like 570s are not worth anything for
At
me
It
anymore.
You Tell Me 16 says, not everybody's
580s are like
school year
barely
has
worth
started
anything.
yet. At Jacob Dreer 5354 says, I have a big question.
A massive question?
1570 says,
Like, you know what's
you're
crazy?
plus one at 600 yet?
No.
At Shorties1570 says, it'll be a sad day when it gets to 600 plus 1.
It'll be very sad.
At Edequay AAAA says, high vortexes. At
Oh,
the
man.
one and only Mango Lord says, hello water.
I still hear your voice when you sleep next to me. I still
At Adequate AAAA says, hello Mango. At Shorties 1570 says, I'm almost at 680 frowning face.
Crazy. At least
If
your
you
plus
tell
one
me
is not
16 says,
700.
You ever find a song you think will be fun and its mapping is just laughably bad? At Jacob Dreer 5354 says, would you be kind enough to take 2 minutes out of your day and watch my 394 PP play on 10-star map checkmate? At Adequate AAAA says, hello Shorties. At Shorties 1570 says, it won't be too long from now I'm sure. At Shorties 1570 says, hi Aqua. At Go Subalcheming says, face orange biting nails. At Cyan Boyper says, can you play multiplayer? At If You Tell Me 16 says, no Jacob. At Adequate AAAA says, face orange not biting nails.
Is my sky. They wipe away tears that I cry. The good and the
At Shorties 1570
How to
says,
act up help.
we need Aquaflea in here.
you make me right when I fall. 'Cause every time we touch, I get
Can we just get Aquaflea and Walking Cat to just crap out all
I'm
the
the real Aquaflea.
like all
At Jacob
all
Breer,
linear maps next batch?
5354 says, pretty please. At Kadiodum 43 says, how does he make it look so easy? At Shorties 1570 says, face fuchsia tongue out. At If You Tell
Let's go
Me
out with a
16
bang before
says,
next week.
bro, if Vortex was in multiplayer he'd cook everyone, what would be the point? At Shorties 1570 says, no not me lols. At Adequate AAAA says, new beat leader rank batch might be peak.
W600? Question mark? Bobby.
At Shorties 1570 says, wait that's a good score. At Adequate AAAA says, W600 indeed.
Where are we now? Dude, you're still so far away. Oh my gosh. This is so annoying.
I still hear
At Jacob Dreer 5354 says, oh and BTW that was my very big question.
touch in my dream.
At Adequate AAAA says, top one with. At If You Tell Me 16
I don't know,
says,
man. That question was
like
pretty
why
small. You
attempt
did
to
not
beat
ask about
somebody
low
with
capability.
FC power of the saber blade LOL. At Shorties 1570 says, that's a very big question. At Jacob Dreer 5354 says, Icar Shorties. At Tango _ 144 says, hi.
Yep.
At the one and only Mango Lord says, my stomach feels warm.
Hmm.
I don't think that's good. At Adequate AAAA says, massive question. At Shorties 1570 says, if you tell him can I ban you for saying that? At Tango _ 144 says, bye. At If You Tell Me 16
Man,
says,
I lost so much ad.
saying what? At Jacob Dreer 5354 says, prob.
Tears that I cry. The good and the bad times, we've been through them all. You make me right when I fall. 'Cause every time we touch, I get this feeling, and every time we kiss, I swear I can fly. Can't you feel my heartbeat?
At the one and only Mango Lord says, alright. I am a go now. See why later.
Where's going to the
At
toilet?
Shorties 1570 says, before saying the words power of the saber blade.
Again, taking a quick
At
journey to the toilet.
AAA says, can't believe I didn't get timed out last stream. At AAA says, CYA Mango. At Jacob Greer 5354 says, so can you Vortex Big B? Added Q Tell Me 16 says, it's not like I was suggesting it to be played or anything.
Dude, I just keep gaining and gaining. Oh my gosh. What the freak? 620 win?
At Shorties 1570 says, W scores. At Adequate AAA says, I'm sobbing over the death of Axel. At Mitch Renfer
What?
says, will you take a song request?
Now is not a good time.
At Shorties 1570 says, I'm under 100 PP from rank 4. At Mitch Renfer says, no way Shorties and Akik. At Adequate AAA says, Axel better
Okay,
come
we're done
back
with
to
this.
beat Saber. At
Try
Mitch
this one.
Renfer says, Aqua.
Did I say I have 400? Oh boy,
At
that's
Adequate
really
AAA
bad.
says, hello there Mitch.
I still hear your voice when you sleep next to me. I still feel your touch in my dream. Forgive me my weakness.
Added Q Tell Me 16 says, bro casually just got 5 115s in a row. At Mitch Renfer says, love y'all, keep on seeing y'all's scores. At Adequate AAA says, I believe in you Vortex. At Mitch Renfer says, I'm in the Zeal clan. At Adequate AAA says, W Mitch. At Shorties 1570 says, Aqua I think Mitch thinks you're Aqua Blade. At Jacob Dreer 5354 says, checkmate is my PvPP, I'm only rank 2.9k. At Adequate AAA says, no I think he knows who I am. At Adequate AAA says, cause we're both in the Zeal clan. At Shorties 1570 says, oh. At Mitch Renfer says, smiley face. At
Dude, if I
Adequate
599 this map, that's actually
I'm
be
slowly
pretty sad.
catching up to Arctic. At Mitch Renfer says, just joined a few days ago. At Mitch Renfer says, oh that's good I'm. At KDODM 43 says, how long you been playing for?
Today
At
or...
Tell Me 16 says, how thin is your saber trail? At Adequate AAA says, I captured the first clan capture Arctic got in this clan if that makes sense. At Mitch Renfer says, I'm trying to catch up but I'm relatively new. At KDODM 43 says, today. At Mitch Renfer says, oh.
Dude, oh my gosh, that tracking.
At Adequate AAA says, that's alright Mitch you'll get there.
Dude, that's not even +1. Oh my gosh.
At Shorties 1570 says, tracking of all time. At Mitch Renfer says, just grinding Zuri Uricalo maps for high BPM stream and jumps practice. At Adequate AAA says, rest your arms or your ACC will get worse.
677.77. Okay, never mind. Man, my plus one's up 584. This is so sad.
At Go Subalgaming says, 67. At Edeque AAAA
Okay.
says, I've been grinding speed lately.
Okay. Because every time you touch, I get this feeling. Shorties, what are your opinions on Sweets Holic?
At Edeque AAAA says, 667. At Jacob Dreer 5354 says, what sport has most aura?
Beat Saber.
At Shorties 1570 says, I love it, don't joke. At Edeque AAAA says, baseball.
Base, kick, base, kick.
At Mitch Renfer says, Edeque AAA I recommend playing Montajum one more game or BSR 52647, it's really fun just struggling on the complex start. At Go Subalgaming says, gun. At Edeque AAA says, alright I may try that out. At Mitch Renfer says, Crowley like CS23. At Shorties 1570 says, we love Sweets Holic. At KDO43 says, basketball. At Jacob Dreer 5354 says, bro checkmate was right there, coulda just clicked it then scrolled to my score. At Edeque AAA says, what's your rank Mitch? At Mitch Renfer says, I'll check not high, I don't grind rank at all. At Edeque AAA says, ALR. At Mitch Renfer says, I'm 6,543 in the world LOL. At Edeque AAA says, I think I got a 600 on the new Sound Chimera map on Beat Leader. At Shorties 1570 says, I'm like 5 in the world or something.
No way. At
Edeque AAA says, W Shorties. At Mitch Renfer says, yeah it's insane.
I'm gonna lose all my act at the end. It's gonna be so fire.
At Mitch Renfer says, I wanna be like y'all. At Shorties 1570 says, the end isn't that much ACC down. At Edeque AAA says, I wanna be like them too.
Oh man.
At Mitch Renfer says, TBH I really wanna be like Sinison. At Edeque AAA says, I'm only 653 globally crying face. At Shorties 1570 says, face kicka kicka. At Mitch Renfer says, for alluring koala he's insane. At Go Subalgaming says, Jujut. At Shorties1570 says, this song low-key a banger. At Equay AAAA says, I keep forgetting Brazy is top 2 on SS. At Mitch Renfer says, I use no offsets. If I were to switch to offsets for default grip, what offsets would be good for speed?
Let the bass kick.
Oh my gosh.
At Equay AAAA says, I have no idea, I just use C10 offset.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
At Mitch
Oh
Renfer
my
says, oh. At Equay AAAA says, W play.
Oh my god.
At Shorties1570 says, what the freak is that score?
Oh my god.
At GoSubAlgaming says, W.
That
At
is
Equay AAAA says,
crazy.
holy smokes.
Dude, I'm on my
And the one
linear
and
arc
only
right now.
Mango Lord says, wowie.
It's crazy. Do. Imagine if Janice 11 was here. That would be fire.
At the one and only Mango Lord says, I came back just to see 650.
Wowie.
At Equay AAAA says, you've gotta make a video on that play. At Shorties1570 says, I'm so proud. At Equay AAAA says, we are so proud of you.
Guys, what now? What now? Dude, I'm like really close to getting a full page of 640s now. It's crazy. 640s, 650s.
At Shorties1570 says, Evo.
No.
Access token needs refresh.
Okay. Do.
At Equay AAAA says, Evotnik.
Do. Dude, I don't know what could be a good map.
At Shorties1570 says, amazing spelling.
Evotonic. Yo guys, we're 60 away. 60 away. The gap is closing. I could
At
low-key get
Equay
top
AAA
39 by
says,
this weekend.
I know a great map. At Shorties1570 says, Umbral.
I don't know.
At the one and only Mango Lord says, cray cray.
Dude, I need like
At Equay
actual
AAA
linear.
says, you can probably guess what I'm gonna say.
I mean, day and night's pretty linear, but like I'm not in the mood to
At
98 for a map
AAA
right
says, or at least Mango can. At Shorties1570 says,
now. I need like
look at
9
my front
star.
8 pages dog.
I need like 9
At the one
star
and only Mango Lord says,
linear.
face orange biting nails.
Dude, the only map that really fits that right now is like Don't Stop the Music, but I can't improve that score. I mean, we could try Edcore again. Returning. Guys, we gotta look at the playlist. Completely forgot about this. Dude, I have some questions. Why did you highlight like the most underweight maps ever? Like, why did you highlight hard diff? I'm not hard diff, easy diff. Easy diff a jet lag. And then why did you highlight this one? I think it disconnected again.
At Shorties1570 says, oh yeah. At Shorties1570 says, because I felt like it. At Edequaaaaa says, you should try halfway. At Edequaaaaa says, it's not underweight.
I don't know, man. It seems pretty underrated to me. Untitled could work, maybe. We could try this again.
At Edequaaaaa says, I got my first 500 on it how? Pleading face. At Shorties1570 says, I unironically have this on my playlist.
Oh my gosh. Evo. Coffee Run could be good. Maybe. Dude, I'm still in shock. I did not know it was 650.
I unironically have Superluminal on my Spotify playlist. At Bubbles Likes Candace says, hello.
Me when I have Punai Taiso on my playlist.
At Edequaaaaa says,
I'm just kidding, I don't
is
have
that bad?
It's like the most insufferable, like, Score Saber song.
At Shorties1570 says, oh son. At Edequaaaaa says, as well as Extra Dung. At Bubbles Likes Candace says, I have Bubbles from Angry Birds as my PFP. At Shorties1570 says, whoa ha ha ha. At Shorties1570 says at Slates.
Tic-tac-toe.
At Shorties1570 says, did you hear Slates got kicked off of Score Saber RT finally LMAO?
What?
Mercy.
I thought they were kicked.
AAA says, Wozers.
Or at least at one point.
At Mitch Renfer says, those sides.
Song.
At Mitch Renfer says,
Yeah, nope.
Wides I meant. At Shorties 1570
Destiny
says, son. At AAA says, I'm gonna get kicked off of challenge soon, I just know it.
How do you get kicked off a challenge? Dude, this map sucks. I don't understand how... How do you make a linear map bad? Like how do you manage to do that?
says, swing bug. At Shorties 1570 says, I need to update the playlist.
Yes. Yeah, I was gonna play Coffee Run. Wait, what is my score on this? Why what? Where did I lose all my
At
app?
AAA says, Vortex, do you know any good overweight speed maps?
Anything on Shorty's front page.
At Shorties 1570 says, Abstruct Joker time. At Float727 says, I'm back awake. Surely you haven't been streaming for like 15 hours straight.
Surely. I don't know about this one.
At AAA says, this song is on my Spotify playlist, of course.
Bobby.
At Float727 says,
We could
keep
try one
song
of
loud.
these. I was holding good act on visions, and then I messed up at the. I dropped crazy act at the. I don't know. Like the second part of the linear. I dropped like crazy act.
At Shorties 1570 says, it's time for me and Vortex to do another 7-hour stream together, guys.
Wow.
At AAA
My
says,
legs are gonna be on
correct.
fire.
At AlexWorld17 says, hello.
Hello.
At Float727 says, how did you do that map info widget, by the way?
You gotta search up like Beat Saber song over it.
At Shorties
And you need to have the
1570
Beat Saber Plus
says,
mod.
Shrek movie PT2.
Oh man.
At Float727 says, oh tidy. At AAA says, Bill Nye 1 hour loop when. At I Like Geckos YT says, can I play with you? At Shorties 1570 says, you don't have a 98 on this yet?
I don't even have a 600 on this yet. I don't know what's going on.
At
This map is just
Float727
goofy.
says, 97.97% ACC LOL. At Shudwaytelam says, you gotta play a level that's got some swag on it, commit. Like badly, but a different level that has movement to it.
I think I'm swinging too hard.
At Shorties 1570 says, what? At AAAAA says, interesting.
Yeah, it's like
At Float 727
I can't.
says,
It's like I can't
axing
hit the
so much on
BPM.
this looks intimidating.
So weird. But I can hit returning. Actually, I can't hit returning no more. Can't act.
At Shorties 1570
I stopped being able to hit like
your
above like
positioning is
340
just slightly off.
because I can't even like I can barely hold a Yak 6. I don't know what's going on. I think I need to play more beat meter 400 BPM.
At AAAAA says, Vortex, do you miss Axel yet? Pleading face. At
Dude, what happened? Did you die?
He says, I have the same issues actually, LOL. At Shorties 1570 says, I can't swing 350 anymore without flicking. At AAAAA says, he's dead to the Beat Saber community. At Shorties 1570 says, who is Axel? At AAAAA says, old streamer.
An older streamer. He is not old. Okay. Alright. Native Faith.
At AAAAA says, he left us for his tech channel.
We have a 616.
At AAAAA
Yo.
says, I meant
Wait.
old as in 5 months ago. At Float 727 says, true story, playing Beat Saber improves line confidence in drawing by strengthening forearm muscles.
Very interesting. Does that mean I'm gonna be, if I'm good at Beat Saber, I'm gonna be good at Osu? You're telling me both rhythm games are dependent of each other?
At AAAAA says, Axel played this map on his last Beat Saber stream, loudly crying face.
Is bro experiencing grief? What is going on?
At Float 727 says, old, that thought, you have a point right there. At Shorties 1570 says, bro is sad.
Bro is going through the 5 stages of grief.
At Shorties 1570 says, grief.
Okay.
At AAAAA says, I am experiencing grief, yes. At Pibble Loveswing says, I've been playing for 8 months and started modded a month after starting the game. Now I've just beat Nova Blast.
W.
At Shorties 1570 says, banger map GGS. At AAAAA says, I don't appreciate the Geometry Dash community and their corny TikTok stickers. At AAAAA says, W Pibble.
This is not even worth anything.
727 says, I'm sorry for your loss, pensive face.
It's not worth anything. Oh my gosh.
At Pibble Love Swing says, thanks. At Shorty's
What's another map
1570
like
says,
BBKK?
not worth but banger score for the map.
What's BBKK's BPM? 320? We just look for a 320 BPM map.
At AAA says, one of my friends tried to make a fake account to get Axel back into BS.
This is not 320. There's no way. Their streams are not 320.
At Pibble Love Swing says, we like to party us 320.
Apparently this is 320. 321. 320. Full throttle.
At Shorty's 1570 says, why are you
No,
so
but this
obsessed
is bottom
with
row.
Axel
I'm not good at
Loudly
bottom row
crying
right
face?
now.
At
This is
says,
320.
he was my king crying face.
Okay, maybe we just learned this map. We just learned how to 98. I don't think we're 98ing with this tracking.
Please don't stop the
At says, alright, I'll stop experiencing grief now. At Shorty's 1570 says, don't even joke lad. At AAA says, not like I'm doggy or anything money mouth face.
Okay.
At Shorty's 1570 says, Duoji.
Please don't stop the
At AAA says, it's probably just me who thinks this, but the Geometry Dash community was good until Jinxta touched it. At AAA says, now it's flooded with a bunch of younglings.
This act is absolutely atrocious. Oh my gosh.
At Pibble Love Swing says, you should snipe Bitesy on raving bounce money mouth face money mouth face money mouth face money mouth face. At AAA says, tell your left hand to improve. At Shorty's 1570 says, yeah bro, that's my job, don't even joke lad. At AAA says, discipline method drooling face.
If you snipe Bitesy on Raving Bounce, would you upload it to CC? Is that even CC worthy?
At Shorties1570 says, his Raving Bounce score is mine. At AAAAA says, wrong emoji whoops. At Shorties1570 says, I would. At Flood727 says, W walls. At Shorties1570 says, wait, if I snipe his Raving Bounce score, will you get me 5 guys?
Maybe. Hey man, I only promise you
At
5 guys if you get a full
says,
page of 800.
5 guys sounds good right now.
Hey, you're kind of almost there, so gotta get working. Get 800 on Raving Bounce. That's surely doable. Definitely.
At Shorties1570 says, true, 3/8. At Flood727 says, bro, counting in base 8?
8 is how many scores in a page?
At Shorties1570 says, I only need 5 more 800s.
I mean, we could play this. Just gonna get nuked to the ground.
At Shorties1570 says, yeah, this map is fried lols.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
At Shorties1570 says, I don't even see what makes it so worth though.
I have no idea. The algorithm is just confused.
At Float727 says, my biggest gripe with lighting events is they don't do what their names suggest they do. At Float727 says, actually that's only fade in. At Shorties1570 says, I mean I had 735 but I didn't submit because it would all disappear next batch anyway.
Oh my god. I don't know. I feel like it would be around like, I don't know. It could be it could become the same like weighting as like Rocky. I feel like. What star rating is Rocky?
At Float727 says, I think fade-ins and fade-outs should be independent from pulse events tbh.
I feel like that's fair.
Shorties1570 says, yeah, I think it
mid
will.
to high 10 star. I think that's fair. Antidote just got murdered. that was very interesting.
At Miles Peace says, I'm back on track from the grief I couldn't let go.
Okay.
Holy geometry dash reference. At Shorties 1570 says, yeah, we're gone.
Bro got dieted. I mean, I could try. I don't know. I don't know how to act this anymore. It's really weird. Do 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 do.
At Float 727 says, did bro get banished to the limbo for recovering from grief? At Shorties 1570 says, you're gone too.
Okay. Okay. How long you time him out for? Won't even let me see. X-Reese.
At Shorties 1570 says, what was the BPM of that linear slop map on BL that you played?
I have no idea. I think it was pretty fast though. Do 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 do. Wait, what BPM is this?
At
This is like
Shorties
350.
1570 says, it looked worth and I wanna try to 800.
Let me see. What? What is it called? I want you to know. It's 340 something. 330. Yeah, it's not that bad. Alright, get me out of here.
At Shorties 1570 says, that's like not bad, wait I can like 800.
But you gotta hold ACK on the tech part. Actually, that's not that bad. Some of the parts are just not very clean, I'm gonna be honest. Like, it's kind of weird.
At Ultramaster Ultra 5724 says, play. At Shorties 1570 says, hold ACC on the tech part. I can like 400, don't even joke lad.
Sweet Holic. Do I want this on my front page? I'm not getting it because it put me like really short.
At Shorties 1570 says, if you can FC top diff of Sweets Holic you can 640.
Do I have a score on it? I don't think I have a score on. Does it even look like?
At Shorties 1570 says, it's super worth if you learn the end. At
So
Shorties
just like the 7 star.
1570 says, it's all like ACC hold till the end.
これで興味ないふりしても体は正直なの嫌だって言ったって甘い香りに誘われあなたを求めてしまうこれだけあなたのことをいつも本気で
Okay, how do we get out of here?
私欲しげなのかもあなたのなきたかなさすがにも入らないもうそれでも今すぐ欲しいもう待ってないの君さんはスイーツ
What is this? Okay, that doesn't look that bad. Probably gonna miss though. How long have I been streaming? 2 hours? Dang.
At Hefting says, ha.
Yep.
At Shorties 1570 says, yeah, I'm still trying to FC it, but you probably could considering you're better than me at tech.
Maybe. I'll try later. Because I'm so hungry. Alright, I'm gonna end stream here. Alright, bye bye.